Welcome, beautiful divine masculine and feminine darlings. A little bit crooked, hold on. I don't plan to be here for too long, but I do have a little reading to do, check in, and some stuff that I noticed over the last couple of days. I've been busy handling some business behind the scenes, but I'm here and I'm sending love. I think we'll do some Reiki as well while I'm here, so please feel free to grab some water or some juice. I'm actually going to grab a kombucha. I do have some water here though, and I'll charge that as well with some Reiki. Make sure to mix the stuff from the bottom back into the bottle. It's the good stuff, good for your health. Okay, this is one of my favorites, possibly my favorite. Elderflower, jasmine, violet. There's eloquence Reiki coming through. I like that noise. Unintentional ASMR. Also, peace Reiki and balance Reiki. Perseverance Reiki too. This will help give a little extra push, a boost of emphasis and energy. Definitely make sure to rest if you need to. But this is one of those energies that helps you just push through to finish off loose ends, goals, etc. And here comes the Reiki for charging the drinks, water. Whoops. Cap wasn't screwed on all the way. Emphasis on that too. There's a message in that. Don't worry if there are little hiccups or seeming mishaps in the journey. Might seem like a whoops, but it's already resolved. So there may be little things to work through, especially as the shadow cycle of the Mercury retrograde fades out energetically. But it should not be hard to do, right? The hiccups are minuscule setbacks, even momentary, not hard to come back from, not hard to overcome, not hard to move through. Your best bet is just to try to take a breath, stay grounded, keep going. Or in some cases, if it's something that you need to take a minute to cool off from, or it's not something you can handle right at that moment, instead of sweating about it, try to take your hands off for just a minute, go focus on something else. Healthy and productive. Like, for example, I had to deal with a business call, and on my end, I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. but there was an issue with the person on the other end, and I couldn't make things go faster on their end. I couldn't make them fix things faster, and I couldn't make them get out of the way so that I could fix things if they weren't doing so themselves. But what I could do was vocalize the issue and the resolution, express my parts and my steps in it, request their parts and their steps in it, and then take my hands off of it to wait for them to either move out of my way and or do their part of it, meaning move out of my way so I could fix the issue for them or do their job to fix the issue. And I did. It did get done. And somebody asks, which was it? Kind of both. Went back and forth for a minute, kind of like a game of phone tag. And so I did what I could when I was called to do, and then there were points where I was just called to take my hands off of it and check back in to see if there was any progress. And if there wasn't, you go do something else. Go focus on switching the laundry or answering another email or something productive. Doing doing more artwork. Hold on, let's see. I'll show you. I did finish these. So these ones I just retouched mostly. I'll give it a few days before I wipe them off and put a brand new design. Still the sun and the moon over here. Let's turn this light on. Still the sun and the moon. Palm tree. I still a little edge. That's okay. I've got a tool for that too. Hold on. Good enough for now. Airplane. We've got the golden snitch here still in the clouds, and then Miss Mermaid. But wow, we still have ballerina over here. Art moves us. I did do another one. It says sit happens. Little meditating panda, and I still have this one for now. Make art be heard. I did slightly retouch this one as well. It's just my moon. I've got two moons, in fact. But I did do this one. I was giving this one a few days. Little seahorse with my mermaid tail. But this is where the crossover happens. Because when you put them together, there she is as a whole. Little mermaid. I gotta fix that edge on the base right there too, but that's fine. Mermaid. So there's also elevation Reiki coming through. And I am picking up an attempted crown chakra, third eye, also ear chakra attack. So there's also Diamond Reiki coming through, which will clear that out. To top that off, there's Earth Star Chakra Reiki coming through, and also Soul Star Chakra. One sits above the crown, one sits below the feet, way below the root. I just heard Starshine. No momento. There is also calibration Reiki coming through. It's a different type of balancing. And there it is. Lots of different downloads. It's like light language. It comes in the form of coding. It's really lovely, actually. Wow. I just sent a shiver up my spine. Somebody asks what I mean by light language. When this one opens up, there's a divine light that comes down, and then when it runs through the system, it's almost as if these hieroglyphic tattoos show up on the skin, but they're made of this really bright white light. They're really pretty. It's just coding, soul coding, moving down. Picking up some herbology too. Hold on. That's what I call it anyway. I don't know what else to call it. It's a language, and it comes down in the form of almost like these hieroglyphic codes. It's just ancient energy. Somebody asks what it's for. Healing, love, realignment of the self, the highest self. Also the integration within the physical form. Balance of mind, body, spirit helps. Speaking of, that's the back of the card that I was just using to make sure that camera wouldn't blur out. There's a trick to it, you see. Somebody's asking what's on the, I hear it, what's on the background of this? So I actually didn't really explain that, did I? Good question. Pink and purple angelfish, a seahorse, a starfish. Oops. Good question. Cheers. We're stuck. Somebody says, I thought at first they were smudges. We mean when I first showed? No. Yes, I heard yes. When I first showed, but no. My answer is no. Not smudges. Those are intentional. I heard that. I know, they just didn't register at first. You know what also probably didn't? If you look closer, look at this. This is probably my favorite part, maybe one of my favorite parts about this one. Well, two things. How the green is like right centered in the tail there. See? But then also all the bubbles. Probably my favorite part. Maybe it's the air sign in me. I don't know. Bubbles! Speaking of, actually. Do they still do this? No. Oh no, YouTube has all kinds of new features, but it looks like they got rid of the... They got rid of my filters. What's up, YouTube? Unless they're here. No, that's a green screen. Interesting. Anyway, we'll play with that at a certain point. Not now. They used to have one where I could pop bubbles. Flick! This is still not... I'm so sorry, that was very loud. There's Serenity Reiki coming through as well. Also, I'm going to quickly do some cord cutting. This does not sever connections that are meant to be there, just those between energy vampires and people who are not good for you, who don't have any business around you or your energy, or who you've asked to leave. Especially, we'll clear those out that may be interfering with those that are meant to come into connection or that are healthy for you. In whatever way. Or combination of them. Okay, this one is to basically cauterize those spots where there were any connection points, so there are no open energetic wounds. Thank you. Somebody says, why? Well, you don't want your energy leaking out or anything. Imagine you get a cut on your physical body. You want to keep your fluids in, and you don't want any bacteria getting in to the open cut either. So we either suture it or cauterize. Somebody says, so basically it's like spiritual surgery. That's exactly what it is, in fact. Cheers. Okay. Have patience. These are the ones that I grabbed intuitively today. adapt to change. And Holly, that's funny. I grabbed them intuitively without looking at first, and I wasn't going to say anything about it. But while I was finishing up that Reiki, I was hearing somebody who must have, I hear they have, and that makes sense based on what they said. I assumed that this was somebody who had been through my website and had seen some of my prices, because when I mentioned it, I was getting ready to do the cord cutting. They said, oh, that's like hundreds of dollars worth of a session. And yes, that's correct. I wasn't going to speak on it. I just continued. But now as I look down, goodwill towards others. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's add that in here. And then start this reading. I have a feeling that there'll be a little bit more Reiki or something. Oh, it'll be the shields at the end. Extra shields. Just give us a little bit to process and integrate. But it'll be boosted with this. All right. So there's the free flow for starters. Cheers. Somebody said shaman. She really is a shaman. Yeah. That's so funny. I'm picking up the whole conversation. Two people having a conversation about me. Cheers. Oop, heard lurk, 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 lurk. And you get your feelings hurt. One of them was a karmic. Somebody else was standing up for me against the karmic, but it was a conversation amongst them, basically. It's very interesting. I won't get into the details now, but I just heard that. Yeah, that wasn't very smart of them. So they tried to stop the flourishing goddess. They tried to stop the goddess, hello, elemental Seraphe in this case, from flourishing. Look at the lotus. These people are we doing reversals anymore or no? Yay or nay? No. Okay, thank you. Gotcha. So if that's the case, then I'll also reverse this one just for now. And read this one split ways. I am being called to read it both ways. Just for this one though. So if there's a level of intellect or wisdom that's here for or coming for the light workers, or that they have embodied, it has allowed them to overcome and transcend these, I hear, billowy shadows and karmic challenges that had either befallen people or were placed upon them. And there's a healing of mother, child, or inner child. If you are somebody that has had either neglect or abandonment, or just conflict and issues with either a father figure or mother figure growing up, or whatever combination, some kind of emotional gap in a family dynamic, because really that's what it is. If there's either conflict or somebody's negligent, it often creates some kind of emotional void. Either their absence or their presence does this, depending on who they are and their level of toxicity. Sometimes it's better that they go. But anyway, somebody says why? Well, because if somebody toxic like that isn't around, then they're not around to create more trauma either. You know, neglect is one thing, but abuse is both of them are problematic, don't get me wrong. I heard, yeah, somebody gets it now, yeah. 522. These are people who our light irritates their shadows, but there's a level of healing that's happening. The wound is where the light enters. You know what I also have been picking up is that these karmics who were very vain, especially those copycat energies, they try to copy the externals of what they think is cool or somebody they thought was pretty or something. They're being stripped of, first of all, if anybody had any spiritual inclination or thought that they did, that's being stripped. But more specifically, their physical beauty. If they were vain, and I've said this before, you try to copy the externals of me, karmics, for example, because you think, since I'm confident in who I am, which does not come from the outside of me, that if you copy what I look like or what something about me on the outside, something that I do, the way that I walk, the way that I talk, something about something, right? That it will make you confident too, but it's not about the outside. And so if that's what they thought, then, and they were placing all their value in their appearances, then that's being stripped from them. I saw one of these copycat plagiarizers from a few days ago, not to be mean, but her hair is very thin, and I went to cosmetology school, so I noticed this. But her whole thing from the jump has been about vanity, and I noticed that her posts didn't really get the attention that she wanted, not like they do, until she started copying me. So again, if they thought that the appearances on the outside were what would garner success, or that's what they valued more than anything, or they thought that that's all we were worth, and so they thought it was no big just to copy us, not realizing that who I am on the outside either does not reflect who I am on the inside, or it's much deeper than that, or whatever combination, right? So, oh, they're so mad about this. Let's clear the energy. I feel the daggers coming through. Trying anyway. Thank you, Mike. Love you. Thank you. Love you, bro. I said, you don't know what I've been through. I don't look like everything I've been through on the outside. It's not about the externals. Either, who I am that you're copying on the outside is based on everything that I've been through, every challenge that I've overcome, every test spiritually and otherwise that I've been through, or it has nothing to do with that. You just don't understand that it's more than that. Beauty's only skin deep, and I'm much deeper than that. And so if they're placing all of their perceived value in appearances, that's being stripped from them. Something about no spiritual protection. Do they have? We'll get into that in a minute, but anyway. There's another crown chakra attack coming through. I don't wish that for them. They're so mad about that, as if it's my fault. No, this is what God has been saying about you. For playing around in other people's energy, my own included. I don't wish that on you. They're trying to send a crown chakra. There it is. Oh no, I'm sending an attack. It's like, yeah, you're trying to shoot the messenger. Now they're trying to take their hands off of it, and what is it called? See, I don't do spell work. I don't need to. It's like a reverse incantation. Hold on. What is it? A reversal? I think there's another word for it, but it's kind of like a reversal. They're trying to reverse the spell. Oh, let me take my hands off it. Oh, I shouldn't have attacked you. You weren't attacking me. Yeah, I picked this one up also today. Hold on. I think it had to do with this situation, actually. Or people in this type of energy. It's like all of their focus on value is in appearance is very vain. So let's say her hair starts falling out and she thinks, Divine Feminine must have done a spell on me. No, it's your karma because you were so focused on stepping on someone else's toes and stealing and targeting a Divine Feminine for clout and attention and theft of original content and even intellectual and creative property for starters, that God was trying to teach you that beauty's only skin deep. How are you going to feel about yourself if you've placed all your value in your appearance, but then you have no hair? First and foremost, 3122. And then also, if they feel like appearance is everything, right? And they don't understand that let's say, I'll use myself as an example, that I'm more than just my appearance. When all her hair falls out and she doesn't feel beautiful anymore, does that mean she's worthless? That's what she's saying about herself, placing all her value in nothing but the outside, externals. Okay, well, that's what I picked up. And that was just one example. Somebody could be sick. I mean, really, if your hair's falling out, that's probably something to do with some kind of bodily illness. Something's not functioning properly. So anyway, I don't wish that, but that's, I would be remiss if I didn't report the news. Hot off of spiritual press. And frankly, that one's been coming through for a few days. I picked up the part this morning about how they feel like, or they were going to, where they would feel like it was a spell instead of their karma, when it's actually just their own energy coming back. But my light workers, look at the hair, running her hand through a thick mane of hair. My light workers are good. See that peace, Reiki, and also the rainbow, serenity, rose, singular pink rose in her hand. And a veil. She's wearing a veil. It's almost like a bride's veil. Lovely. Oh, it has angel wings on it. This is the Seraphe. Look. Don't have that problem. Nature signs. Yeah, so there'll be synchronicities. Butterflies, there are changes coming. Badgers also can be quite temperamental and possibly aggressive sometimes, very kind of territorial, especially over their dens. But look at her. Amongst the butterflies and the badgers, just chilling. Oh, I have one for you. Okay. So I went for a little adventure and I crossed paths with my geese. Those of my OGs here know I love my geese. I love them very much. When I say my geese, they're not my geese. They're wild geese. But their route from their daily nesting grounds to wherever they go to roost in the evening flies right over my head. And so does their path on their migration south in the winter and then also back home in the spring. And I heard them come home a few weeks ago and I was so happy to hear them. I love them. And then, I was so happy to see this. At first, I thought I thought, you know those lawn ornaments? People have the fake geese as lawn ornaments, maybe to scare away other predators or something. I don't know. But they look real. Some of them. I thought they were those. And then they started moving. And I saw two. And then a little bit down the road, there were two more. And then there were two more and two more and two more. And so like 6 to 8 birds total. Hi, geese everywhere. I hope everything is well with you too. And so what I noticed was all of these geese are paired up, and that means that all of those geese in that flock have found a mate, every single one of them. I didn't see a single singular geese, or goose rather, plural. And geese are really beautifully like a number of breeds of penguins like this, where they find a forever mate. They will find a bird that they like and that likes them back, and they'll do their little thing, their mating thing, mating calls and stuff. And when they decide to bond and pair, they're bonded for life, meaning they stay together forever. They don't venture outside of the relationship. They don't stray into other marital geese beds or have wandering geese eyes. Nope, they don't. They have babies together and they stay together forever until they die. But I thought that was really beautiful, and they all found love. All of them. So I feel like that's a message for my collective. Oh no. Well, I'm glad that they found love. I hope that their babies are good. It's like the springtime of happy feet. If you know, you know. 37:22. You have a boat? Is it a saltwater boat or a freshwater boat? Do you go fishing? I'm very curious now. You got the mermaid on screen here. My hair's still wet from the bath, also. Mermaid. Okay. So in order to manifest, pick this up in the beginning. It's important. Oh, look at the beautiful golden roses. Yeah, look. And the quill over here, it's like she's writing her, creating, manifesting her own life story pathway sailboats. Yeah, I wondered about that. It's been a long time, but I used to sail as well. I mean, I've been on lots of different kinds of boats, but also sailboats. And almost gotten taken out by a boom or two. Let's be real. When somebody didn't spit the commands as necessarily required. You're not supposed to captain a boat if you don't know the warnings. Anyway, all jokes aside. Somebody said, I heard that. Did you capsize? No, but that almost knocked me clear out of the boat. I was little. So it's like writing your own journey. Magic wand, but it matches my nails over here on this side. So all of the other ones are golden, just like that. Even these ones are a little bit tinted blue and red. You know what I'm getting? The red and the blue pills in the Matrix from that all of a sudden. That's new. I didn't get that before. So have the motivation to basically dot the T's, cross the I's, do the self-care, nurture yourself, your inner child, right? This is also for those of us who've been advocating and fighting for the well-being of our children. This looks like a younger, same wings as the fairy from before. Here. So this looks like the daughter to the mother. You see? So mother either helping nurture, protect the child, bring peace to the child. And she knows there are brighter days coming. She knows that she can help nurture and bring the light and passion back into her child's life, help her grow. Look at the willow trees. She's surrounded by this protection of the willow. It's a Native American reference. Oh, look, and the lily blossoms in the background. Those are lilies. Okay. Yeah, see, lost and found. Hostage situations are ending. Divine Feminine over here, just making best out of the darkness with her cat. And look at the dragonfly. It's my Auntie Kim there. Aries season. The wings in the background. Being her own light in the darkness. Even the cat's glowing. Doesn't matter that somebody tried to spill her cup. She's making the best of it. It's about the journey, not the destination. Yes and no. You'll get there. It's for you. It's for you. But going inside is important, avoiding whatever temptation and addictions. If this is people you know are not good for you, be mindful. If this is addiction of some kind, sorry, that was very bright. I didn't expect it to be so bright. These look like forget-me-nots. These are people who want you to forget the mission, forget the journey, forget why you should be walking away from toxicity, moving towards your highest good will, purpose, goals, focus, destiny, and not in the direction of the snake, temptation, backtracking, sliding into things that are not good for you. Overcome temptation. Getting outside may help with that though, if not just to clear your energy and to keep you focused on something better, that even just to reset your energy, getting outside and recharging for a few minutes so that you have the stamina and the focus to get back to finish dotting I's, crossing T's. But be mindful of your focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. And I picked something up about karmic people who are wishing harm on others. They're getting that back. And light workers, be mindful to not to put yourself or place yourself in a dark energy. Like for me, I'm called periodically. God calls me to do the spiritual assassin thing. It was a gift I was given years ago, and until really this year, I think, the last year, maybe the last 12 months or so, I didn't even mention it. It's not something I advertise until a few years ago, a year or two ago. I wasn't even, maybe a year ago, called to use it. But I had it for many years before that. Heavy is the head that carries the crown. Speaking of which, the last fairy had a crown on her head. A queen's crown. And I don't just go around flinging bullets or daggers, so to speak. Often I give these situations to God, but there are times when God says, yes and no, daughter, I've got your back. I am behind you, beside you. I'll move through you. I got you. But I gave you these tools and these gifts for a reason. You pick up that sword, you pick up that blade, you pick up that bat, and you swing. And I will give you the force. I will put the force behind you. Newton's law who? But other times I'm called to just give it up to God. There's a song by Connor Price. It's called Up specifically, actually, interestingly enough. And he said something about, I asked my dad. Hold on, let's pull those lyrics up. Basically, he's saying he asked God for permission. Do I have permission to target, retaliate against my enemies? And God said, I can hit them a lot harder for you if you give it to me. If you give your problems to me, right? He went to God to pray about the problem of people being not very nice, trying to figure out what to do or maybe calm his temper. And God said, give me the problem. Call it karma, call it divine providence. But God said, I can hit a lot harder than you can. I can make them regret it a lot more. Up. Oh yeah, I also heard, I keep hearing it for days, karmics are saying something like, they're just so lucky. Everything just comes so easy, or they just get everything they want, or something like that. They don't understand that, no, everything just always works out for them. It's not how it is. I mean, like, yeah, when you're in alignment and you're following your path and you're listening to an actual calling, you're listening to, you're not just trying to copy someone else, but listening to your own divine path. God does reward loyal, devoted, good behavior, and you're not stepping off path, which means things do tend to work out when you're in alignment with your path and not trying to snatch or step on someone else's. So it does work out. But what these people are saying, everything just works out so easy for you. It's not that we all don't have challenges or problems or struggles. It's just that we understand, instead of woe is me mode, that there's often a reason for it, or it's something to clear, or it's someone else's issue in that regard. And so we move through it instead of throwing our hands up. That's one. Secondarily, when what these people are saying, everything just works out so easy for you. Oh, it's just, which is why they're copying, and then they're mad that it either doesn't work out the way they want, or they're still catching flack from the universe because they're not supposed to be doing that. Riding people's coattails and toe-stepping and the whole doppelganger plagiarism thing. It's weird and creepy and not energetically sound. And so what they're saying is, oh, well, I'm trying to step on your toes and follow your destiny path, even though it's not mine, because I see it working out for you since it's yours and you're following it correctly. And I thought maybe I could do that too. Well, and things aren't working out for me, and so I'm mad that things seem easier for you. But it's not easy. They're not easy. If it was so easy, you'd do it and you'd be able to do it. But you're not. Right? They don't like themselves. That's why they've been copying externals of other people. That's why God is saying, look, let me strip down the externals and show you that there's more to it than that, and obviously that's not you. If you think the only thing that's valuable is the external, then what do you have when you've got nothing left? Nothing. You're worthless, right? According to you. Learn your lesson. Everything works out so well for you. I got it out of the mud. Blood, sweat, tears, and elbow grease, boo. Yeah, I was down, but now I'm I was down, but now I'm It's all God, this ain't no love. Yeah, I used to be stuck in that love. Yeah, I was down, but now I was down, but now I'm up like my name Lazarus. No Satan gon' be mad at this. I had to ask my dad if it's okay to. Had to ask my dad if it's okay to swing my bat, and he said, I hit a lot harder. Love God. Boy, if I pitch it, it's out of the park. Yeah, what did I say about being your own light in the dark? 10,000 hours you spent in the dark. Also, Russ says, I had to work in the dark for my light to shine. You would rather sit around and bitch and make comments. Oh well, suit yourself, be miserable. I was down, but now I'm up. It's all God, this ain't no love. I used to be stuck in that love. I was down, but now I'm up. All right, seasons. So they are stuck. They're stuck. Nothing's changing for them. Persona, because it was all for show. They were being fake. Okay. Oh, and they were doing it for a clout chase or for money. I have some things to share with you. Yeah, see? Trying to peek through and it's just like trying to copy the externals of, like I said, let's say a divine feminine or someone. Peeking through, copying a little bit of her life because they want a little taste of the magic they think that she has. Very strange. Yeah, intuition. But if they had any, they wouldn't be doing that, I would say. Yeah, that's why they're being blocked for trying to be copycats. Because the universe doesn't support that, but does support real transformation and healthy boundaries, which they were not respecting. Yeah, see, they didn't want to do the work. They just wanted to copy the externals, like pretend to be successful on the outside, the fake it till you make it energy, but there's no connection here. They've got nothing to stand on, no inspiration of their own, which is why they were stealing and copying from us. But that evil eye went blind, you see. The real star still holds weight. They didn't do the steps. They didn't build. They just tried to, basically, this is somebody who tries to jump in at the tail end. Yeah. Disrespectful to the elemental realm as well. Oh, and also eats like garbage. Because I saw that too. We'll get into that in a bit. But I got a flash of a relay race, or there's like a marathon. And at the end of the marathon is the finish line, right? It's kind of like the tortoise and the hare story, but these people weren't even in the race. They weren't even in the running. They drove to the finish line, or almost to the finish line, got out of the car, and then crossed the barriers of the relay of the race to jump into the race, right? They dressed up in a runner's costume, drove to the end of the race, snuck into the race, and then tried to claim that they were the winner. They didn't start the race. They weren't in the race. They were a random person who pretended to be a runner that jumped in at the tail end to claim that they were successful and had started and finished it appropriately. No. Divine Masculine says, so basically they tried to jump in at the finish line to claim someone else's victory. Yes, but they're not even a competitor. They didn't get registered. They don't actually have a valid, runners all have to have those numbers pinned to them that they register at the beginning. They didn't run any of the race. They drove there or had somebody drop them off, like around the bend of the finish line, and then pretended, like squirted water all on their face to make it look like they were sweaty, right? With a spray bottle, a hairspray bottle or something. And then pretended like they'd been running the whole time. Nobody else ever saw them. They weren't caught on any of the footage. You know why? Because they weren't in the race. They might have been caught on a security camera trying to sneak into the end of the race to pretend like they had run it the whole time in order to cheat and claim a win, but no. Now, as far as the title goes, I noticed, it was actually Archangel Michael who's been coming through in this reading. It's yesterday or the day before. I was told to wait on pulling some evidence. I had some other things the holy angels wanted me to do first. And I realized why after I was done with all of that, because then one of these plagiarizer energies that I was told to go make sure to finish the documentation of, yeah, that's funny. They made another post, but it's one of those things that they do where when I call, it's a covert abuse or subliminal posting. It actually came out in the last reading, I believe, that I did, and it said, oh, this karmic is trying to trigger you, doing things to try to trigger you in your day, or making posts. Yeah. Well, that's what she did, as prophesized previously. But pull this up. Okay, so this morning I noticed there were some people still stalking me, and I addressed that, some criminals, local criminals. But I also noticed that this crossed over with one of the last plagiarizer energies, 555, and that one is another one of those that was in such toxic energy that she just picked up on the chaos and conflict magic and spells that the people doing occult magic locally sent out. And the karmic plagiarizer that was called out before that also, same thing, all of them really, but that's why they keep doing the same thing. Their energy's the same, their patterns are the same. They're doing the same thing as these locals have been. But I did notice a few crossovers, and I was picking up some music mediumship while I was writing this out this morning. I will link this in the description box. I'll do that right now actually for you. And I will play that song as well. But I heard Black Honey, it's called. That's the band. Or no, Thrice is the band. I believe Black Honey is the song title. Swinging my fist through a swarm of bees. I can't understand why they're stinging me. It's a karmic saying, I'll do what I want to get what I please, till I've got what I want, I've got what I please. I want honey on my table. So that they're ready and willing to try to grab at whatever they want, try to steal honey from a bee, but then they wonder why they're getting stung. They try to grab at and take from and play up all in the energy of, let's say, of Divine Feminine, for example, and then they wonder why she claps back and defends herself and says, no, you stay seated. A real one would never. For starters. Crazy. You know? So there's that right there for you. Black Honey by Thrice as the artist. Now let's play this song and go through this, and then I'll explain where this ties in. This is not a new song. I've posted this one on and off for years as it's come up, usually about these locals. So this makes sense contextually. Wanna be honey on my table. Just wanna be honey on my table. But I never get it right. No, because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to be copying other people like this, trying to snatch the destinies of other people because they think it looks cool or like a clout chase or lucrative. They're not supposed to be in such a delusional state that they think that that's appropriate, or in a lot of cases, the whole fantasy snatching thing, it's people... When I say fantasy thing, I mean literally these people are trying to present themselves as if their whole life is a fantasy world or what have you. But the thing is, this is why they're copying. They do not like themselves or their lives, so they try to dress up as like book characters or me, because they do not like who they are and think that my life would be better. But let me tell you what, dude. I've been abused since the day I was born. The doctor that delivered me nearly killed me. I got him fired as a newborn day-old infant. I was then subject to childhood narcissistic abuse and ended up with narcissist and then a sociopath as an adult because I didn't really recognize the abuse. It was so similar. Then I ended up with true love. Oh, and then because people from the past who were jealous that I wouldn't be with them or deal with them anymore because they were toxic learned about it, they bullied him to death. And then they started targeting my child and I, so I am a widow and also a sexual assault survivor, and the sexual assailant is who's been targeting me and sending people to do it. You want my life? You couldn't handle it. Oh, and by the way, all of this being said, abused since the day I was born, experiencing pretty much nothing but sociopathic abuse, widowed, domestic abuse survivor, sexual assault survivor. You cannot hurt my feelings. Certainly not the way you wanted to, and definitely not the way you thought you could. The joke's on you. And I'll do it again till I got what I need. You're gonna keep getting worse karma. I want honey on my table. Well, yeah, smash through the hornet's nest. Not a good idea. So these karmic people, they get scalded by the truth. Their shadows get blasted by the light as we move on in a bright and shiny day. Making good choices to elevate ourselves and working with the divine to do so. Okay, so this last plagiarizer energy that I will also be linking in the description box momentarily, but that I called out a few days ago for plagiarizing and doing the whole copycat thing. When she did this weird retaliative thing, as the reading stated she would, she's going to try to post subliminal stuff and trigger your day or whatever. She did. And she wore, I mentioned in the previous reading that she was getting off of copying me. She was getting brand deals and payments. She was getting people to pay her for all of these things. Also gifts from companies, right? Which Divine Masculine was upset to hear about, because he said that those things should be going to me, since that's my content and my original contexts, etc. 6522. And she posted another video, a new video in that dress, meaning she's worn the same dirty dress that she was gifted 3 times this week, because she just had to put it right back on since I said something about it. Except for what she was doing in it was with greasy, thinning hair, very unkempt looking, wanting to try a lip product dupe, meaning a fake knockoff version of a original company and brand's product. And what this was a knockoff, cheaper company's attempt to copy Clinique's Black Honey lipstick. But 2 things, maybe 3, that I noticed. We'll start with 2. She's never done anything like this before, and the angels made me go document from start to finish after noticing the plagiarism her whole account, including from origin, showing she wasn't getting attention until she was copying me, and that's also why she was doing it. But also, her content changed when she started copying me. And so I went back to document. Archangel Michael said, okay, you need to go take care of that today for a few reasons. I said, okay. Well, she had just posted this video. But has never posted anything in relation to makeup or products or anything like that. On that account before. So that was, I don't know, what, is like she running out of content now? And 2, again, she looked very unkempt in that same dirty dress she's worn a bunch this week. But then when this other local issue came up this morning, I started hearing the song Black Honey and realized there was a crossover there. So that's that. There it is. Here's another one. Suddenly she started trying to dress up as like Celtic a Disney princess. Immediately after I posted it was right after I posted my dance video this one. To very Celtic sounding background music, yeah. So that was another one. And then the other bit was, while she tried to get my attention or to rub that brand deal that she's only gotten by copying me and my content, while wearing a dirty dress that she's worn 3 times this week that brand gifted her, while posting some dumb content that she's never posted anything like before about a makeup dupe, meaning like a fake knockoff version of a higher end makeup product and from a name brand, she didn't realize it was a symbol of herself. Of course she's okay with a cheap knockoff. That's what she is. It's what she's been. It's what she chose to be. It's all she had the capacity to be. And she still wasn't very good at that. Also, she got caught. Just a bad attempt at mimicking. But you cannot copy the original. The second you do, it's tainted. It will never be the same. You'll never compare. You cannot compete where you don't compare. And those at the top are too busy collaborating to compete. She was too busy trying to steal and step on toes to have any sense of collaboration, unless it was from somebody giving her gifts or money and commissions. Yeah, brand deals and right. Hello. Divine Masculine said that's fraud. Yeah, well, that's why Archangel Michael said to document it. And if I hadn't been told by the holy angels to wait one day, since I've already had her blocked, right? I was told wait one day to go finish documenting this very specific thing over here. Wait. For some reason they said wait, we have other things for you to do first. If I hadn't waited, I wouldn't have caught that, because she didn't post it until a day later. So this is why we listen. I do anyway. So again, then go somewhere else. Boo. This is someone collaborating to get brand deals by trying to step on original content creators' toes, or I guess by collaborating, rather. I mean, manipulating people to get brand deals in order to try to step on original content creators' toes. And that's not collaboration. That's usurpation and theft. Ah, see? Here you go. You just can't help yourself, and you keep using the same... Oh, goodness. You keep using the same terminology because you're so mad that I told you to shut your yap the other day. But okay. Also, I was waiting for that. The holy angel said a few days ago. I think it was the last reading. Fake accounts, trying to make fake accounts to mess with your life or your... yeah, I already know. So as far as the usurpation and theft goes, this is somebody that should know all about that from the Fantasy Kingdom books she brags about reading. Maybe she should learn the lesson and go touch grass again. Seems like she's stuck in fantasy land. Reality is a good thing and there needs to be balance. But this is somebody who posted a picture of herself and said, I touched grass again, as if it was the first time in years, and complained about what looked like a relatively small hike for somebody like me, looked like a very small hike off a hill. And she said she was dying. I'm like, girl, you need to touch grass more often and not just for your physical health. Because I saw it. Just sit inside and scroll and stalk all day and write down and snip little things to copy. I'm like, you're crazy. You need to go take a hike. Literally. More of them. Stay off my socials. 7522. Divine Masculine's laughing. He's like, they always tell on themselves. They make a joke as if it's funny to be delusional. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not the Salulu. It's not cute. It's like they think playing dumb is cute. No, it's not. Why do you do this? Yeah, and I see now they're panicking because they feel like I picked up all their BS. I'll link any other information necessary in the description box or the comment section of this video. Sacred space. Yeah. See, these people are boxed in. I'm over here moving mountains. Complaining that they can't climb a hill while I'm over here moving mountains. I'm over here outgrowing the entrapments they tried to place me in. What do you mean? You can't even hike a hill. Touch grass, girl. Touch it. Yeah, see, she was coming from a low vibrational space, and she should not have been doing that. Liar, liar, pants on fire. That's what I just heard. So there's that. Anything else? Yes. Not with that, but let's do this one. Also, let's see what Julie has to say. And also, pull some psychology cards. Lack of dynamism and willpower. Stubborn, relentless, authoritarian, imposing, triggers angulance, anger, and turbulence. I was getting another download, a crossover, at the same time I was speaking and reading. And I heard something else about, there was this post I saw the other day. One of these plagiarizers made also about lots of posts about staying inside gaming all day and night, and then also claiming on some days that it was a rainy day, which was a good day to read, but then also on really beautiful sunny days, I could see the sun coming through the window on this photo. Also that it was a good day to stay inside all day. Girl, touch grass. Go take a hike. Intervening in things that will end badly. And she has been upset, mad, or feeling tantrumy. Pretty much. Rushing into things without thinking. Dangerous passion. Violent situation, impetuosity, destruction of entourage, excessive reactions. So if she was trying to gang up a little brigade, yeah, that's not working either. Incapable of deciding which direction to take, imposing one's will and forcing destiny, including trying to snatch someone else's. March 21st to March 25th. March 21st came up twice. June 3rd, August 17th, October 30th, January 9th, midnight, 12:19 a.m. And so these are either times, dates, birthdays, death dates, anniversaries, This could be when somebody committed some kind of offense against someone else, or when their karma comes back from it. As far as, because I hear that question, whose birth dates, death dates, anniversaries, either one of the victims targeted or the perpetrator, people involved. Anything else? I think we're good with that one for now. It did confirm what I was saying anyway, trying to force and snatch and usurp. Speaking of sunshine, the light will be illuminated on your situation. What is done in the dark will come to light. Yeah, this is why I speak up too, because I know I've got good people watching. The same way that we all know that I have had nasty people stalking. But I also talk to God about that. They don't have the clearance to do that, so they're either not getting accurate information or they're reading about themselves and they don't realize it. Trying to anyway. 8122, or they're just blocked and confused either way. Yeah. See, I just got out. Told you. Mermaid. So, anything else? Whatever was holding you back has been or is being removed. And they're falling victim to the same dark energies that they either called or that they were running around in. Yeah, they're getting their behinds whooped because their reckless magic has backfired. Their reckless attempts to target or steal have backfired. I'm hearing something about nobody wanting to work with them, or that's what they're concerned about, or they know is coming. I hear nobody wants to work with a thief, and they know that, or they will. Yeah. The work you've done on yourself has worked. The negative energy is dissipating. This could be just prayer as well. Light workers praying because they know people are being targeted. Because people wanted to try to block other people's. Also, because if they bound you, then they could try to take what they wanted from you, and then you either couldn't do anything or speak up or both, whatever. That's what they felt. People are delusional and entitled to nothing. But they had a grandiose sense of entitlement, didn't they? That was a rhetorical question. The answer is yes. Pause. Hydrate. Cheers. Okay. Yeah, see, I told you. That came out twice. That's 2 decks now that I've just spit that out. Trying to spy on you. It's a part of their daily routine. And this is why the copycat thing as well. This is also why I won't mention her name. Yeah, see, maybe you can't compete where you don't compare. Constantly comparing themselves to you. All right, tell me about this 622 here on the clock on the East Coast. That's a twin flame number for me. Tell me about this copycat plagiarizer. Okay. who's also been copying an aspect of my name, by the way, too. You cut them off and they're still watching. The winds will alert you when spell work is being done, trying to bring you legal trouble. But you know what I just saw? You tried to avoid drama, but they keep pushing it, so do what you have to do. You are their karma. And I know that. I know I am. Trying to inbox your followers to turn them against you. Yeah, I saw that. See, this is that thing where I saw that she started trying to have cross connections with one of my communities, as specifically as a dancer, actually. And she doesn't even have any ties to that one either. And so she's just trying to, it's so weird. Get in. No, it's weird. But unfortunately for her, the people that she's tried to worm her way in with, I've actually established a rapport with over the last 10 plus years. So that's a no. She just didn't know that, doesn't know that. I heard, well, I got friends in places. All places. They're blocked by holding on to grudges. Yeah, I've been on screen many times this week. I don't have a problem with that. In fact, here we go. Right here. My tea corner. I'm right here in an oversized hoodie, but here nonetheless. I don't have a problem coming on screen. Not at all. What's up? I heard that. Why don't you more often? Because I don't need to be seen. Okay. So, as a result of trying to make money off of me, or you, if this resonates, their finances will perish. Right? Trying to spiritually spy or get someone else to do it's being blocked also. Evil eye just went blind. Yeah, and that's why you're getting karma. Uno reverse. So this was that. First it was a tantrum, then it was anger, and then it's been back and forth between like anxious, knowing she's in trouble and caught, and I don't know, trying to have righteous anger or something, but it's not. There's no righteousness in theft. They're not superior. They mock you when they feel jealousy towards you, but again, that's really the core, right? I don't care about that because I see what it's about. I see what it's saying. That's why they're mad. If they were so superior, they wouldn't do that or need to. See? Big copycat. Build a bitch. But I'm not accepting those fake apologies. You need to stay away. Karmics. Yeah, see? This is somebody who's either trying to dabble in things that they know nothing about and shouldn't be playing in and are not equipped to play in. Do not have the authority or the rank to play in. Or they tried to go to others to have attacks, spell work, or something done. Or in some cases, I'm picking up that this is, let's say it's me, I'll use my account as an example, somebody trying to go through my follower list and tell people that I'm a fake psychic or something like that. I've seen that before. But anyway, that's false. Also, it's slanderous as heck. What qualifications do you have? Oh, she's crazy. What qualifications do you have? Because I've sat for 9 hours with a neuropsychologist specifically to prove liars like that wrong. And that's not what the neuropsychologist said. And I told her whole team specifically, look, I'm a psychic medium and this is what I do. If I'm crazy, tell me so I can fix it, but I'm not. I'm just very intuitive and traumatized. Yeah, creepy. And that's why their karma's coming back. Oh, it must be a spell. Divine Feminine must have done a spell on me. No, you're just getting karma and are being taught that vanity's, well, that wasn't it. What did I say? That came out in the last reading, and then she made the post. She self-proclaimed that she had an egghead. I noticed her hair was thinning and very greasy. And she was wearing the same dirty dress that she wore a few days ago that was gifted to her by a company because she's been copying me. So she's been getting brand deals off of trying to pretend to be me. Oh, and what did I say about the fake accounts here that I just blocked? They just couldn't help themselves. They just couldn't help themselves. And it's either the same karmic who just can't help themselves, or it's the same demon channeling through each of them because they're using the same keywords too. They just can't help it. Here, let me put this one up for you. And I will link the screenshots as well for context. I don't want them on the account. More specifically, I don't want this person's energy here, but I will link the evidence below. And I said on April 4th, oh, that makes sense. You want to talk about it? I'm being sarcastic. Shut your yap. And then 2 or 3 times this week, these fake accounts will come through and say specifically that. Yapping. What yapping? What are you yapping about? Or something like that. But it started after I posted this one particular thing. And so obviously that really, really deeply triggered these people. And so they're trying to throw it back at me. Or it hurts their feelings that I won't listen to their nonsense. And so they want to try to shut me up. But here's the thing. I'm speaking facts. They're the ones stalking me and on my socials and what have you. So if what I was saying was incredible, they wouldn't be here, nor would they be sweating to the degree that they are, but they are. No water bottle needed. Back to that runner race analogy. So there was that. But here's the thing about that is I anticipated that. Often, well, I guess it's not often. There are a few times where I've said, you want to talk about it? Sarcastically. Just as a funny intro to the topic. It's not an invitation. I'm being sarcastic and they're too dim-witted and thick-skulled to pick it up or notice. Even when I outline it, that I'm being, like in this, I'm being sarcastic. You want to talk about it? I'm being sarcastic. Shut your yap. Showing, even giving them instruction as to the fact that that was not an invitation to come here and speak to me about anything. But they were so triggered, they just couldn't help themselves and fulfilled the prophecy from the last reading I did after I did the reading. Hey, they're going to make fake accounts and come harass you because they just can't help it and they're trying to trigger your day. Okay, thanks for the heads up. And then they just couldn't help it. Like the very day later. As if I didn't see that coming and publicly warn people about it first. All right. So there was that. But when I did the whistleblowing this morning about the stalker energies, some of the people who sent death threats and a number of other things prior to this, one of the crossover energies was that plagiarizer from a few days ago. And so the whole comment here, the yap comment from today, which matched one from the other day, as I'm looking at the one I posted on April 4th, you want to talk about it? I'm being sarcastic, shut your yap. Well, this one of the same people that I had to call out today was the same person that I called out in this post. So they just keep coming back and they can't help it. Obviously, this truth really bothered her. But they'll disappear when shit hits the fan for them. CPS is about to bark up her tree. I also picked up that she's going to have warrants up for her arrest. And tomorrow on my agenda is to call the nursing board to either let them know that they have somebody who claims to be a nurse or has some ties to the nursing field who's doing this and behaving like this towards people, or they've got somebody illegally claiming to be a nurse when they're not. Either way, they're going to hear about it. Because somebody with cluster B personality disorders like that, who's targeting people and actually is a skid mark on society, yeah? Who actually is a threat to humanity and the well-being of others, should not be anywhere around any kind of patient, or especially children. You see? That's why they're mad. Because I work with God and I'm highly protected, and this one is a self-proclaimed public Satan worshiper. That's already linked in the description if you want to click it and check the information. It's all there for you. I have nothing to hide. You know me, I always come with receipts. Yeah, see their attempts to gaslight people? Backfired. They low-key want to be you. Yeah, we know that too. And what did I mention about the cult, chaos, magic, and conflict spells? It's just anybody in that energy. It's like the little devil and the little angel, right? The hops from every person's shoulder to every person's shoulder. Like some people think, even metaphorically speaking, we all have a little devil and angel on our shoulder, but imagine it's the same devil jumping from shoulder to shoulder of these karmics, just whispering things, okay? That's why they're all doing the same crap. Because they're not listening to the angels. And the Fae realm is quite upset with them too. Yeah, what did I say? You cut that out. Bye. Because my light workers and I are safe. The universe is guiding you away from these toxic energies, right? As we manifest good karma, otherwise known as dharma. So release these toxic people and situations because it will pass. Use your intuition, but again, know that you're safe. Let it flow. Let it go. And know that you're blessed. Is there anything else you want us to know? They definitely have not wanted me to speak on this truth. I've been picking up some throat chakra attacks, but no. Let's do one more. See, one more. I hear Blame It on Bad Luck by Bayside. So again, these karmic people getting bad karma for what they've been doing and then thinking, it must be the light worker I targeted doing a spell on me. No, it's your bad karma for trying to target them. In fact, it's just a return to sender. It's a return of energy. It's Newton's quantum law. Boo. Hi, baby kitties. Okay. Yeah, see, they did not do the inner or outer work. See the holy angels with the shield and the sword? This looks like Archangel Michael to me. They were not wise. That came out in the previous energy too. Owl in reverse. And so now, some of them are feeling so doleful, right, and in such despair that they would rather die than face the consequences of their actions. Penalty for whatever they did, stealing, causing harm, 10101. For their cruelty. They don't want to face the karma for the energy that they sent out. They don't want it to come back. Overthrowing of authority. What did I say? For trying to usurp or steal from people? No. Whether it be names or destiny path, all for money, luxury. They were it's like being possessed by demons, dude. Religious and general conflicts and creating issues, either being disgraceful to the spiritual realm or targeting people who really truly honor it, who are truly connected to it because they were full of greed, thought that they could beat other people to their life purposes and destinies before people got to their own life purposes and destinies. Now, what I mean by that, karmic light worker, right? Light workers' destinies here. Karmics thought that they could beat light workers to their destiny before the light worker could get there in their own divine time. But that karmic, even if they try to race to the light worker's destiny, it will still never beat the karmics. It doesn't fit them. It's like trying to race and snatch shoes that belong to the light worker, but they don't fit the karmic. They wear a full out different size. Oh, I hear that. What are they going to get for trying to fit their big flat feet into Cinderella's glass slippers? Custom-made glass slippers. Okay. For the light workers, and then also for the karmics, please. Thank you. Infamy. So, they're going to be known if they're known. Some of these people will just fade into obscurity because that's where they belong. For other people, in some cases, it's part of their karma. They wanted so bad to be known and famous to the point of stealing from people and stepping on people to try to do it. Taking something from other people to try to do it. And so part of some of their karma is that they will be known, but for everything that they did not want people to know about them. It's like if people know their name, it's because they know that this person tried to steal from somebody else. But you see, those are the things that these people, they don't want people to know. These are people who tried so hard to paint themselves in the persona of myself or one of my light workers that they don't want to be seen as their true self. But that's all they'll be known for if they're known for anything. And that's not what they wanted. They'd rather be invisible than have that happen. And see, I told you about that in the beginning. I picked it up. They're angry and they were loyal to their rage. They continued to be little tyrants. They continued to either tantrum and cause problems, ego and hatred, deception, be retaliative and immature, instigative, I just heard obnoxious. Archangel. One of the archangels is standing over my shoulder, arms crossed, rolling his eyes. Obnoxious. Good one, bro. And didn't forget that one, did you? Funny. Yeah. So look, theft and destruction, exactly. Little rats. But the truth is coming out about how they were being evil for greed, dangerous writings, and luxury. Yeah. Copying. Copycat. Fraud. Divine Masculine did say that. He said, that's fraud. She's been getting brand deals and gifts from companies because she's copying you. Well, that means if they're so interested in what she's posting, that's really your content and your stuff that she's trying to duplicate, then those should be going to you. That's fraud and theft that she's committing. Yeah. False promises. Yeah. Trying to claim she's something she's not. I mentioned that in the last reading. That's like putting on your, okay. Imagine there's a company and they are looking for a new hire. So they put out a job opportunity advertisement and a bunch of people turn in applications. Now, the boss may not have mentioned this, but I did pick this up. Forgetfulness and release of unpleasant thoughts. The forget-me-nots from the previous card. They wanted people to just forget what they were doing and let it go, let the abuse continue, or not hold them accountable for it, or they were so oblivious to the fact that they were, it's like it's such a daily, normal, moment-to-moment routine for them, just messing people over anywhere they go. Sometimes, if you've ever dealt with a narcissist, hold on. This crocodile. It's like crocodile tears too. And they tried to overthrow Seraphim. In my case, no. Little snakes. For some reason, that's also reminding me of a wine cooling bucket. I don't know why. This is also reminding me of Medusa. Hold on, I'm gonna sit with this for a moment. Just getting a bunch of downloads. Hi, babies. In one case, it could be drug and alcohol related, actually. Speaking of, hello, there's that. All right. That's probably why I picked that up. In other cases, it's just so routine for them, they don't even think anything of it. So let me explain. Let's say you have somebody who's blackout drunk, they're seeing red when they're under the influence, and they're angry and they're volatile and they say nasty things or they do nasty things, and then when they sober up they claim that it never happened even though it clearly did. Sometimes they genuinely don't remember. Sometimes they're gaslighting and they do. Either way, they're still accountable. They still need to be held accountable, but sometimes they genuinely don't remember. In other cases, maybe something really hurt you. Maybe something was really harmful to you or really caused a problem for you, but it didn't affect the narcissist, especially if they got what they wanted from you out of it, or it was just so routine for them to do stuff like that. They don't even find a problem in treating people like that, that when you bring it up as an issue, again, they just do things like this all the time, all day. It's so normal for them. They might not genuinely remember. Sometimes they do, and they're trying to gaslight you. Either way, it's still unacceptable. Whether they're so oblivious to the fact that this is not normal, that they do it so much that they can't even remember when you do bring it up, or whatever else. Either way, it's a problem. So in that regard, meaning, why, I don't remember doing that, or I never did that, that's not an excuse. Don't let them try to get you to let that slide with that one, all right? Either way, it's a problem, but sometimes it comes from slightly different angles. Whether it's they're trying to make you just forget about it or gaslight you, that's another thing. They pretend like they don't remember, hoping that you'll just let it go. That's gaslighting, hoping they can confuse you or gaslight you into just maybe thinking that your memory is wrong, and so you, again, let it go or accept their faulty projection of the so-called truth as reality when it's not. Intellectual lucidity. There it is. It's just about having discernment. You see, these people, they're not grateful. They weren't grateful for what they had, so they tried to snatch other people's stuff and blessings and hard work, projects, credit. And they wanted this for attention, trying to get attention by doing this, even to the point of crucifying. Looks like baby Jesus there. Crucifying people to do it. But they're toxic. They're opposing the light. They're opposing everything that they claim to be or wanted to try to present themselves to be. Look at that Medusa-like snaky figure. Malevolent behavior, exactly. All because they wanted attention. Yeah, but look what they did. Committed crimes to do it. Criminal Enterprise 1/12/22. War and violence. And then they tried to stir the pot, either spiritually or otherwise. Refuge and finding peace. That's what's coming for my light workers, though. Because these karmic people had unnatural passions, right? They were really bold and excited to take from people and fight for what they wanted that they took from other people. Like, I don't know, some of these people have been like, they got too lost in the Game of Thrones sauce, and they started trying to live life and treat people as if we're in Middle Kingdom era and they're barbarians. No, we have laws now in place that we did not have in those eras. You're not in the Game of Thrones. This is a real life, right? You got lost in the fantasy world, dude. 113:22. Okay. It's not the way to conduct themselves. Lust and weak wills. And so there's universal healing happening here, meaning regardless of the situations that happen, regardless of who was involved, my light workers will be healing. I'm picking up divine masculines and divine feminines, as well as the vibe tribe that connects between. Yep, propagation of light, because here, actually these fell in reverse, so let's read them in reverse. Not in actual reverse, as in, we'll read the back of the deck first. Restoration of life. So anything that was torn apart or needed to be restructured is happening, because what's been going on is there's information coming out. In some cases, it's about the theft and the toxicity. In some cases, it's about how to move forward, or how to move forward. There it is. Start fresh. This also reminds me of like the plague doctor here. And so 2 things I'm picking up. One is that's what these people were being and doing, just sickness and illness causing harm. And then 2, this is almost reminding me of Cupid's arrow. It's strange, but the plague doctor mask, when it's not in any kind of malevolent structure, was actually supposed to be intended to protect a doctor. I know it's like a scary horror movie symbol at this point, but initially the whole beak thing was they put herbs and spices in there because they thought that if they smelled those, one, it would be less gross than to have to smell the sickness that everyone was exuding, right? But also there was this belief system that viruses and bacteria came from smelling things or bad smells. What was that called? There's a word for it. Which obviously they realized that was not true because plenty of bacteria and things can kill you or make you very sick, but you don't even know that it's there until it's too late. Miasma theory, sorry, that was a bit loud, is the ancient medical theory that diseases were caused by bad air or miasma emanating from rotting organic matter, so like sick or dying people, or like sewage and stuff like that. But they believed that chlamydia, cholera, and the Black Plague or Black Death were caused by noxious air, bad air, or that all sickness came from smell. So if it smelled good, it must be safe. And that's, we know that's not true. But that's why they had those masks. And they stuffed them with flowers and bags of herbs and stuff. So there's healing happening here. Being able to get through the stank of these karmics. And that came out in the previous reading. Their spirits stink. They reek of evil. But we're breaking the cycle, the toxic connection. I also picked up eloquence Reiki in the beginning of this reading. So that was that. Restitution. If people were making money off of, let's say, my name or stolen goods and property or even intellectual and creative projects or ideas, that's a no-no. That requires a back payment. They have to pay that back, anything they gained, and they have to stop production and give up any copied artwork or any copied works. They have to stop producing and take down all violating content. And really, if their whole account was built off of contextually copying someone else, that means really the whole account needs to be shut down. There's a karmic who's saying, no, legally, if that's what the account was built on, then there's authority to do that. It's not a violation of freedom of speech and press when their account is the one violating the freedom of speech and press and copyright and trademark laws and such, you see? Uno reverse, you don't understand the law as much as you think you do, but I do, and certainly enough to know that you're wrong. Divine blessings. Yes, these seraphim saw that. Fertility and multiplicity. Liberation. But they rat themselves out. You're kind of creeping me out. Also, divine truth freaks you out, you demon. Draws my light workers in. Liberation. You know why? Because the truth sets a real one free. Why are you so afraid of the truth coming out? I was just whistleblowing. What spooks you so much about that? Oh, yeah, because you're a liar. Because you're fake. Because you're a fraud and a phony. Truth sets a real one free. Light workers. We emanate. Yeah, these people were immoral, tried to buck back against the divine and those who were in alignment with it. Then they wonder why things just are easier for light workers who are on their own path and destiny and timeline instead of trying to steer way off course by trying to snatch other people's. Yep, what did I say? Split the deck, truth and justice, and there's that. What did I say about Medusa too? The angels are cutting the head off that snake. Well, they don't take themselves out first. Split the deck one more time. That was a bad idea. Catastrophe and haste. So they rushed in to do these impulsive things, and it's quickly crumbling. Yeah, their little rebellion backfired because they're being seen as immoral, and I talked about that. No ethical code. Overbearingly prideful, egoic, arrogant, and they were destructive snakes to their environment and other people's. That's why there's a shift happening, there's transformation happening. All those butterflies from earlier, not for those karmics, but yeah, see, they were false. Long necks, bringers of sickness. That's not a mask, that's a bird brain. Not in a good way, you know, I love birds, but something wrong with this one. And there's victory here for my light workers, the torch bearers, the truth tellers, those who wield a divine sword and shield. And I don't mean playing fairy tale dress up, ma'am. Because for me, it's real life. Love Alex in Wonderland. I'm going to drop the mic right there. It will be back at some point to do some other stuff. And I'm going to close this out with some shields. Namaste. Remember to pray. Do no harm. Take no crap. And I will catch you on the next one. Blessings.